and moved on. And so what I've started doing is I started asking to connect with them and seeing if there might be an opportunity for a possible stage in some form of capacity, whether it's a webinar, podcast, or actual speaking engagement. And I would have never thought of that prior to, joining the academy. So we'll
That
see where it goes.
that is beautiful. Give a round of applause for Blake, right? What we talk about is the next speaking engagement is probably not going to come from someone who is booking speaking opportunities for you. That's a very sexy way of wanting that. I want a speaking agent who's going to get me all over the world and gets me paid speaking engagement. But in reality, like the next speaking engagement is literally right in front of you. We just need to have the eyes to see it. And this is a beautiful way. There's also a beautiful, consistent practice, right, Blake? Because how much more time does it take to send one message with people that already want to connect with you? It's probably like 30 seconds. But when we do this every single week, how many people a week do you contact this way, Blake?
Well, they actually they contacted me. So I actually had I get quite a bit of people just wanting to friend me and LinkedIn. And so this past week, the last two, I just said, hey, you know what? Let me just respond with the message and see if I could, want to learn more how to help them and help us. One's actually a business that consults with a whole bunch of other businesses for neurodiversity and HR stuff. And so looking at that as possible an opportunity to come in and maybe partner on some things. And then the other one is another neurodiversity program that is all about trying to help in the workplace as well. And so these could be, I've not thought about any kind of corporate speaking elements, but I do have a background in business and then being able to bring that in from a neurodiversity standpoint might be helpful and might lead to speaking engagements that like I said, I would not have thought of before. So I actually have two meetings set from
Let's
just those last
go.
two connections on LinkedIn.
Oh, that's dope. Good for you. Good for you. And who here with a raised hands has an account on LinkedIn? Right? For everybody who does not yet have an account, it's a great thing to do. You don't need to do anything. You can just create it your name and then take a screenshot of the group right now and make sure that you connect with everybody. Because the beauty of the LinkedIn algorithm is that when, let's say, Blake does a post, let's say, Blake, you do a post right after this class about how you now incorporate everything that you're learning with the with this process in what you're doing right now. Maybe you could even say, I'm actually open to speaking engagement. I don't know if you know this, but I've been working on my speaking skills. I'm really open. Who do I need to hear? Who do I need to connect to? But then let's imagine that you would tag everybody in the Speaking Academy who's active right now. Now, what's going to happen and what's really nice about LinkedIn compared to other social media platforms, good to see you, Rob, is that everybody who connects and comments or likes, like your post will also be visible on their feed. So it's way easier to reach to a lot of people at the same time just for the algorithm. So I think this share is inspiring for everybody to one, do that as well. But then second, why not connect with everybody who's already in the group? Beautiful. Sandra, what can we celebrate with you?
Hi, good morning, everyone. I just want to celebrate my podcasts. I just got two podcasts scheduled, confirmed this morning for the end of August with a chiropractor, and at the end of September with a guy from Australia that's just getting started. And I feel that we need to be the platform for anybody and everybody to hear their voice.
That's
And
beautiful.
I'm on LinkedIn, but I don't have a clue how to navigate around it. So I got it on my list. I just got off with my VA just 10 minutes ago, and she's going to do a tutorial. So I own
That's
my business because right now I'm
that's
sitting on the
beautiful.
sideline.
Yeah, you're stepping into it. And I'm hearing podcasts, and Mari shared yesterday, like she went on two podcasts as well. Now,
Mhm.
what is the beauty of podcasts regarding stages? right? Because again, like a big portion of this group is going to go live next week. And that is this one chunk, this 8 to 12 minutes of time where you can share your story. And sometimes when we're building towards that, can we agree and just be honest that it feels like a big thing, right? Who feels that in all honesty? Like, is this big thing that you're working towards and you want to make sure that you use your time properly? And the beauty with podcasts is that someone else is asking you questions that now you can respond to. Now, if we talk speaking academy language, how you can use that is first pick stories from your story library that you want to practice or use. And then based on what they're asking, use the stories to share your answer. So instead of this keynote becoming this one big thing, it's now like, okay, I've got 2 podcasts scheduled until I go live. Now, what am I going to share live and what elements from my bigger talk can I already practice during the podcast? So instead of it becoming different chunks and different things that you all need to prepare for, what if it can now become a real embodiment of your work while you're impacting people on real stages already? With a head nod, does it make sense? Right? This is the process. Rebecca, I saw your hand up as well. What can we celebrate with you? And then I want to hear from Rob because I think he had an amazing story collection during these last 2 weeks.
I think someone raised my hand for me. I didn't raise my hand.
Oh, so now you're chosen. So make something up. This is cool.
Oh, um, I created a whole new speech with a whole new story for our talk next week that is more, I think, applicable to the group. And it just came, I'm just brainstorming all the different things I could do for a couple of speeches. And so I was just having a conversation with ChatGPT, and then it recognized in my background something that would be more applicable to lots of people that I just took for granted. And so I'm so grateful that I just did that. Otherwise, I wouldn't have even thought about. I mean, it's just my life. Like it's not that exciting, but they ChatGPT is like, no, that's exactly what you need to share. So I was like, all right, fine. My new
Wow.
BFF.
Wow. I hear a lot of wins. I hear a call out from ChatGPT saying, just your life. I hear ChatGPT say, Rebecca, it's your life. This is the gold. You are the gold. This story is the gold. So congratulations on that. And right after this win of Rob, and maybe there will be some tiny wins from other people who now feel inspired to share it as well, is I want to open up the floor for Q&A. And I know that one of the questions will be around, okay, my topic, like how do I know it's my topic? And what I'm hearing you say, Rebecca, is I changed my topic. And I feel this is going to really resonate with the people who are going to listen. Like, how was that thought process for you? And how did you feel? How do you feel right now on your topic? And why did you choose this specific topic?
um, so basically, I was just asking ChatGPT what the aim of a group of 22,000 women that want to improve would be. So we just went back and forth, and then to I explained kind of what my path has been, and then that's when it identified. So I've changed. Like I was a CPA for a few years, and I went to HR, and then now I decided to own my own business. And so it believes that changing directions is, or how easy it was for me to go, you know what, I'm leaving my CPA, I'm going to be an HR person, might be helpful to the women who want to rise because they might feel stuck where they're at. So maybe knowing how to go from one career to another might be helpful. But I'm definitely open to opinion because I felt really excited about it yesterday and woke up this morning going, no, that's not it. And so, yeah.
That's beautiful. We'll dive into that a little bit more later because I know that when one person has this, everybody has this, or a lot of people have this. Like with the raise of hands, be honest, who still feels like, what's my topic really? Like, what's my topic really? Some people are dialed, some people not. So this is part of the process. So when you feel my topic is not dialed yet, so I'm behind. It's like, no, let's reframe that. I don't know exactly what my topic is, so I'm on the course. And real clarity doesn't come from waiting and thinking about it. It comes from, okay, you're gonna do a live next week and you're gonna test that message at that time. And then next week you will have another stage and you're gonna refine what you thought was landing, and you when you did it, it just didn't feel really well. And then you change it a little bit, and that's the goal. So real clarity is also an illusion, or is the rules that we make up. Because when I could ask, and I'm not gonna, but when I would ask all of you, what does clarity mean to you? We're probably gonna figure out that some people define clarity as, I at least know something that I'm able to say, which would come close to my definition of it. And some people might have rules of, it needs to be perfect for everybody, everybody needs to like it, right? And now it becomes way harder to get clarity. So when we have these specific rules, we're probably never gonna find clarity. So what if we redefine what clarity means, which is, we make a decision for this stage now with the knowledge and experience you have now, feels the right move or feels like the best move right now. And then you do it, and then you're figuring out what the next best move is going to be. So I just want to acknowledge you for saying this, and we're going to dive into a little bit deeper in the Q&A. Beautiful. Rob, what can we celebrate with you, man?
Hello, great to see you all again. Um, just there's just so much going on to celebrate. Things are moving. Um, yeah, a couple weeks ago, because I've been on vacation for a few weeks, but a couple weeks ago we had our session, and I think we were working on maybe our stories library, and I had a breakthrough. I don't know what happened, but the floodgates just opened, and my stories library now is like 20 plus in the last 2 weeks. It's just huge, and they're all amazing stories. It's like when I look at them too, I'm like, I don't even know which one to talk about. Which is great to have that to be able to create based off of something you said. I don't even remember now. It was 2 weeks ago, but you said something and it just made me think of something, and then it just opened from there. But now, depending on who I'm talking to or what the topic may be, I've got a library, a good start of things to pull from to speak that, might speak to what they're feeling or thinking or what they need.
That's so amazing. Rob, I want to acknowledge you big time. And the reason so is that it has everything to do with the rules of the game. We just talked about the rules of the game about clarity, right? And what I notice is when some people skip a week, the conclusion could be, this is failure, I'm not good enough, I'm behind. And what I want to double down acknowledge you for is your process is the win. And by you going on vacation, having a lot of stories is now bringing you forward on the journey that you're on. And that's exactly what this is about, you guys. Like, life is not interfering with this process, life is facilitating this process.
Mhm.
So when you are experiencing a lot of like stuff, like you're with your children or you're making time and you're not making time and it doesn't work out as planned, it's like, okay, when it doesn't work out as planned, maybe that's a story for next time. Or when you're on vacation, it's full of life experience that you now are able to bring forward and now share immediately. So this is such a beautiful win, Rob, and you still have your one-on-one prep call available, so we're able to go through it together, so to make sure that next week you're really ready. And that's what we're going to do today as a collective as well. We're going to do a really fun practice, but not before I give other people the opportunity to share a little bit.
Thank you. Well, and just to add to that, what really makes that possible is what, you opened my mind to, of which was just always looking for those doors that are open, always looking for that story. It's just always working. How can I use this to help others? How can I use it to create something to help me help others? And just being in that mindset of everywhere I go, I'm always just kind of aware in the back of my mind that there could be something here you don't know.
Yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful. Love it. And this is on a story, and then Blake shares about speaking gigs. It's like everything is everywhere. When we train our eyes to recognize it, this is where freedom really comes. This is not just create one good script. It's like, no, let's open up all our senses while we're actually living, recognizing it, store it somewhere. So when we're seeing that opportunity to speak, we can just look at all the stories and just make a message. And when I say just make a message, that's the practice, right? The practice is to create the time span of that process being 8 weeks to then next time, let's say 4 weeks, and then next time 2 weeks. And at some point, and this is where I love to be the artist, is it comes within the moment because you're so aware of that whole process. You've done it so many times that while you're speaking, you can pivot because you can recognize and read the room. And that's where this becomes true magic. So I absolutely love this. Absolutely love this. Now, what we're gonna do, I'm gonna open up the room for Q&A. If there's any specific questions that you feel that you're needing guidance on. If not, then we're gonna immediately go into the practice together and we're gonna do some work. So is there anyone who feels there's an urgent question to have clarity on for you to move forward? Not yet. Perfect. Then we're going into the practice, and I'm sure that after the practice there will be some questions. What we're all going to do is we're going to open up our blueprint, our online document that everybody has access to. Your online document. If you're like, what are you talking about? Just put it in the chat, and then Luke's got your back. So he will send you the link private so you can just open it. If you know what we're talking about, just make sure you do open it and it's on your laptop right now, and give me some 2 thumbs up if you've done that. Nice, Rebecca.
Mine's on a different device. I don't know how to get it on this device that I have.
You can also do it on a different device. Just want to make sure that you're able to take your notes and can listen to me right now. And this practice of opening this document while doing the trainings is a good thing to do no matter what, because it's your download space to really download all the ideas that you have about the bigger picture, about your big keynote that you're working towards. So for everybody who's not getting it, just put it in the chat. And if you have it, please, again, 2 thumbs up. I know Rebecca has it. Blake has it. Beautiful. Rob, you've got it? Almost. If not, put it in the chat and Luke is going to walk you through it. So for now, I just want everybody to wave at me and smile. Wave and smile. You either have the document or you put it in the chat and Luke is helping you. But for right now, I want you to be present and wave and smile. And we're just continuing until everybody does it, because I want you to be present right now and not think about the document. Because I'm going to explain to you what we're going to do. Come on, everybody. Everybody who's not waving is not present with us, and you need to listen right now. Perfect. All right. So what we're going to do, I'm going to do a guided exercise where I'm going to speak out loud and I'm going to install some prompts. Now, what I would love for you to do, I would love for you to write the answers down. If you don't have your document yet, don't worry. We're helping you out. If it doesn't work immediately today, doesn't matter. Just write it on a piece of paper. All right? So I want you to do the prompts and don't think about it too much. And what we're going to do is we're going to go through the whole entire document, and I want you to come up with what's coming up for you right now, which basically means for the people who are on their journey for 7 weeks and going to go live next week, this is another download that you're able to do to verify if the thoughts you had about the talk you want to do are still correct, and you're going to download it out of your system one more time. Now, for the people who are here now in their 3rd week, what this is an opportunity for you is to download all the ideas that you have right now and make it solidified. So we're going through this process together. Just follow the steps. Whenever you feel like, oh, this is going too fast, can I have a pinky promise that you're willing to think, hey, it does need to be perfect and I'm just moving on with the timing of the group? Can we pinky promise that? Because this is not about doing it perfectly. It really is not. is really about going through the process, doing it together, and downloading out of your system right now. So that, and this is what we just talked about, it's not this one perfect keynote that you don't make decisions about because you don't feel that complete clarity. This is about making decisions now or solidifying the decisions when you already made them to really, really write it down in your blueprint so you have a place that you can come back to. Does it make sense? Can I get 2 thumbs up? So this is going to be a guided exercise. I'm going to talk through it. We're going to have some music playing on the background, and you're going to write a lot of things down. Then we're going to share it, and you're going to have a lot of breakthroughs through that process. So let's make the face that you will have when you finished your keynote live and it went spectacular. Okay, great. This is the face we want to start this process with. Gonna put on the music. And what we're gonna start with is the aim. Because you are going to share. Let me bring up the music. Perfect. You're going to share a keynote. And this keynote, this story, this is not the story of your lifetime. It's not a chronological repeat of events of what happened to you. This keynote is a transformational journey for your audience. This transformational journey has a very specific outcome, and you want to write that outcome down on your piece of paper. So right now, go to the aim and write down what is the actual outcome from the people that are listening to you. What is the sentence they will not forget? What's the feeling they will walk away with? And what do they know? Know about themselves. Know about your topic, write it down. What is the aim? What is the aim? Not the aim forever, the aim for right now. Make it specific. When you think you're done, let's peel the onion a little further. What's the real aim? What's the sentence they will not forget a week after you spoke? What's that one sentence, that big idea of yours you want to instill to their soul? What's the aim? Write it down. When you have your aim, you can put it in the chat because that's why the collective always wins. What is the aim? Not the best engaged speaker who wins, the one who facilitates the most powerful transformation. What is your aim? Put it in the chat. coming. Why do you do what you do? What is the aim of your talk? Beautiful. Last 30 seconds. What's your aim? The more specific your aim of your talk, the easier it's going to be to pick your stories. And you always, 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 always need an aim in order for you to get clarity. Rob, do you want to share your aim out loud for all of us, please?
Sure. I help high achievers master their mindset, unlock potential, and achieve financial freedom.
Amazing. And I see more stuff written there.
Yeah. So that's the whole thing, right? The whole thing is to destroy limiting beliefs, craft bold visions, and live with purpose without letting fear, self doubt, or analysis paralysis hold them back so they can rise above doubt, create impact, build a legacy of faith, freedom, and fulfillment.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And if I would ask you not to read it, but to share it with us in one sentence, then what's your aim, Rob?
To help people improve their lives and make their dreams come true.
Dope. Do we already start to feel a different energy between the two of them? Right? What's our aim? Rob, what's a sentence they will not forget after listening to you? What's the sentence?
Um, uh, be unapologetically yourself, or be unapologetically you.
Share it again.
Be unapologetically you.
What's the sentence, Rob?
Be unapologetically you.
That's beautiful. Do we start to see that an aim can be a lot of different words and it can be completely correct? I hope you all understand now that this whole system is not here to grade you or to say, oh, your aim is not with the right amount of words. The outcome that we're looking for is that we are going to get crystal clear on what our talk is going to do. And when Rob is sharing that one sentence, which, by the way, Rob, which one was it again?
Be unapologetically you.
When that's his aim, is getting super crystal clear. So every story, Rob, that you're going to share is adding value to that one specific sentence. Because after your talk, they will not just remember that sentence, they will feel the sentence, they will have stories to back up that sentence, they will feel the truth of that sentence, they will feel the congruency of you meaning that sentence, and it will be very visual on what the next step is going to look like to actually what, Rob? To actually what?
Be unapologetically you.
There we go. Who got something out of that? Who got clearer on their own aim? Because it's not so much about writing this paragraph of what you're doing. It's having a very clear intention of where you want to bring the people, because the next step is picking up your stories. What stories, Lori, are we going to use? It doesn't matter. There are some criteria of your stories, which is the 3 C's. Right? Who remembers what they are? You can put them in the chat or speak them out loud. Who's going to receive the points? The 3 C's. What are these? Credibility, coolness, and community. Let's go. You're a great team. This was you discussed this before, right? So we want to make sure that all those chucks are bucked. Those checks are checked, whatever. That all of them are inside. Now, why do we do that? Why do we do that? Someone in their own words. Why do we want to make sure that all the 3 C's are part of the talk? Rob, you're still unmuted.
Oh,
Why
Relatable.
why the three C's? It's relatable. Yes, what else? And everybody, please put it in the chat, help him out. Connection. What else? Trustworthiness. Sandra, there we go. Right? The reason why we have the three C's, not just community, because community connects. We feel safe. We're in the same environment. But how do we make decisions? We make decisions based on emotion, but we justify it logically. So when Rob would share this super emotional keynote where we're emotionally involved and we feel that we need to live our full potential, we're going for it and we feel his integrity and we feel his heart and we feel all of that. But that somehow we just don't trust that he's going to be the leader who's able to bring us forward. We can feel all of that. But our logical brain still needs to have proof that he is trustworthy. Not just on an emotional level, but also on a credible level. Nilsa, Rebecca talking about numbers all the time. Like, we want to know that we can trust you with our numbers, right? We can feel that we can trust you, but if you didn't have success with numbers before, it's like, well, I can trust you as a person, but I just don't trust you with my finances, if that makes sense, right? So we want to make sure that the connection and the community, that it's covered, that the coolness is covered, so you're standing out. How many people these days are helping people reach their full potential? It's like it's almost hard to not find anyone right now, right? So how is Rob going to be the one? That's coolness. Coolness doesn't mean like I have tattoos or whatever cool means. Cool means that's so Rob. That's just so Rob. What I love about Rob, I'm picking on you today, Rob. I don't know why. Is he went, Rob and his wife got married. But then when they got married, he really wanted to. Maybe you can tell the story for yourself, Rob. I think this is going to be a great introduction for the next piece of action that we're going to do together. Would you mind sharing the Paris love story in a very like 1 minute version?
Yeah, I will do my best. Um, so my wife and I've been married more than 30 years now, almost 33 years. And there was a time not too long ago where she kept saying, "You never proposed to me." And I'm like, "Well, what are you talking about? I never proposed to you. We're obviously married. I had to propose." And because we dated in high school. And she kept bringing it up. And she's like, "I've got friends that have these great proposal stories." And so I took the hint. I'm like, all right, I got to do something to make up for this. So we went on vacation a couple years back, and it was our 31st wedding anniversary. And I arranged for us to fly from Italy 3 days before our anniversary to Paris and remarry her in front of the Eiffel Tower and surprised her kind of with that. It was a surprise, but I had to tell her ahead of time because her mother was like, "No, she needs to get a dress. You can't do that to her." And so, but we got married. We renewed our wedding vows in front of the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah.
Now
And then
she's
as a
got
surprise,
the
she
Eiffel
flew
Tower
in.
Mary story.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you flew in her
her
parents so they
parents.
could
Yeah,
witness it as well. Like who feels the love in that? Who feels that when Rob, what was that one sentence again that everybody's gonna remember?
be unapologetically you.
Who feels that there's now a new layer of meaning towards that one sentence because of this story with the raise of hands? Who feels a different energy towards the one sentence? Who can say that sentence with a raise of hands? Everybody. Everybody can share that one sentence, but the meaning, the emotion, the stories, and the credibility are never going to be the same. And that's what the next focus time will be about. I want you to think of what are the credible resources, the community pieces, the coolness pieces that you have inside of your life, and what story points come to you. So Rob, what I would say to you is this Eiffel Tower Paris story, what C would that connect with? Maybe even two or three. It can be multiple. What C's do you recognize in that one story? And everybody can put it in the chat as well.
I don't know. I'm not thought about that one as a story to tell people, even though I should, because everybody loves that story. I got to figure out the message in there.
So there's a coolness story, there's a community story. And you can point, and I will just share this little bit of insight with all of you before you're all going to think about what are your three topics. And when you already solidified your full entire talk, you can go through this again with this new lens. When I go through my talk, am I really pointing out my credibility pieces? Am I really pointing out this coolness pieces? And am I really pointing out the community? Because we need all three of them. So Rob can use this story in a way where he shares the power of his wife sharing what she wanted. Because leaning into your full potential starts with step number one, and I'm just making this up. Step number one, knowing what you want. Now, my wife, she knew, like, I want my own proposal story. But can we agree that sometimes what you want can feel like a burden to someone else? Or to really stand up for what you really want, it can create this fear. For my wife, it was like everybody else already had this proposal story, but I didn't. But I know my man loves me, so can I really share this? Can I really share what I really want? Step number one. Step number two, right? You get support around you. And then step number three is this and this and this. So what actually happened is we went to Paris, got this whole thing, and blah, blah, blah. So you now can decide, like, what are the three teaching points you want to bring people on, and how do you want to use this story? It's not so much, oh my God, I need to find the perfect story. It's like, okay, which stories light you up, and which stories do you feel that from your life cover the community, the coolness, and the credibility? And then now, how are you going to put the puzzle together so your aim is achieved? Can we all see that with that one aim? Rob, can you repeat it one more time, the one sentence?
Be unapologetically you.
Be unapologetically you. That he can use the Paris love story. Can we see that? But can we also see that when we don't use it, he will still make his aim happen? So when you feel like, am I choosing the right stories? Then there is no such thing as you're using not the right stories or the good stories, or this is just the one story you can use. What we do want to know is what's your aim and what stories facilitate that aim so people see and feel it, and so you make sure that people trust you as a person, community, recognize you from the crowd, coolness, and know that you're actually solidified and know what you're talking about, credibility. So what we're going to do in our next round of focus time while the music is going up is I want you to either go through the talk that you already created and look for what are the three C's within my talk, or when you're still thinking of it, and I see Rob, when you're still thinking of it, what could be that story or multiple stories where you can figure out those three C's within your talk. Now, Rob, before we start, you have a question to clarify what we are going to do.
I actually have a comment. Um, I just wanted to clarify what my sentence means, be unapologetically you. That was a breakthrough for me several years ago, to just be who you are and and do what you're meant to do. But what that sentence really means is everything that statement is about that we're creating is not possible unless you're unapologetically you. So I have to be unapologetically me for the real Rob to come out, the coolness, the genuineness, for everybody to see who I really am and for them to experience what I can do to help them. I have to be unapologetically me. And that came from a breakthrough at a Tony Robbins event in Fiji a couple years ago. Right. And so that's what that sentence means to me.
That's beautiful. And I think this breakthrough, Rob, is what we're actually exactly going to integrate in this focus time. Because there's a difference between specificity and overarching terminology, right? When you share about being authentic and becoming you, right, that can become very abstract. But I'm sure that when you would bring us to that moment in Fiji where you were on a Tony Robbins event, a very specific moment in time, and you're able to share with us what you saw, what you heard, and you're bringing us to that point and you making it connecting to that one bigger aim you have, that your talk is going to be super, super powerful. Right? So what you all want to do right now is you want to think of what are my three pieces, my credibility piece, my community piece, and my coolness piece. And what specific stories, what specific moments pop up in my mind that can help me share my aim? Can I get 2 thumbs up if the exercise is clear? I don't need the answer, but if the exercise is completely clear, can I get 2 thumbs up from everybody? Right, Arena, Jay? Yeah? Cool. All right, then the music is gonna start and you wanna write it down. You wanna write it down in your document. So you're solidifying your talk. You wanna write it down for yourself so you give yourself a little certainty for when you're speaking. Because you know that you thought it all through. You don't need to memorize the script. You know that you've got the fundamental pieces in place. It's out. So write it down. What are the moments in time, the specific stories that you're thinking of for success?
What are we writing down?
Writing down the stories, the moments in time, connect you with your credibility, your coolness, your community. Time when you spoke to a woman in an African country, you had a conversation. Moments in time from your story library that connect you with all of the 3 C's. It can be one story that connects with all 3 C's. It can be 2 stories. It can be 3. You want to make sure that you've got all of them covered in your keynote. Write it down in your own blueprint. And if you're ready, just put it in the chat as well. it down for yourself in your blueprint, but just make sure that you put it in the chat as well. Your stories are going to inspire me right now too. Put it in the chat. Great, Sandra. What stories are you thinking of? Last minute before the review. Last 3 seconds. Just finish what you're writing. Beautiful, Mike. Beautiful, Jane. That's beautiful. If you haven't already, put it in the chat and then please wave at me with both hands and make a smile. And some people are not hearing this, so they're like, what? And that makes us even foolish, more foolish. There we are. Perfect. What we're going to do now is we're going to review this. Now, for whom in this group was this super easy? It was almost like, why do we have so much time for this? And then who's figuring out, like, what is this? What are my stories? Like, what are these things? Now, this is the skill we're working on. And in this skill, there are a lot of sub skills because the first step is actually figuring out what is a story, right? What is a story? Is a story, okay, Lori started was very nervous when she was younger. She didn't speak to people. She was terrified to be seen. To when she had a color, or I will not say this yet. Okay, so she was very uncomfortable when she was a kid, and then she started to feel more comfortable, and now she's an international speaker, right? This is a chronological approach to what happened before and where we are now. Does it make sense with a head nod? Still some people are working on themselves, right? Stay focused. So there's a chronological flow. Now, what we are doing, instead of asking ourselves the question, how can I share this breakthrough epiphany of mine as best as possible, which is what a lot of people do, we change the whole narrative. But because we start with this super powerful start, which has 3 letters, starting with an A and ending on what? The aim, right? We start with the aim. We start with what is the transformation we're here to create for an audience. So it's not, I'll repeat, this is not about how to share your story in perfect order so it makes sense. This is about how can you collect little moments in life, little scenes from your life experience, chunks of time that share the story, that share that one sentence. Rob, and one more time, what was that sentence again?
Be unapologetically you.
Be unapologetically you. And for everybody, that one sentence, that one aim is different. But that's what we're here to do. And now our playground becomes what stories, what little scenes are going to facilitate that journey. And when I would share the story about speaking, I can go to my story library and think, okay, maybe I'm going to pick the one. And this one I actually never shared because I didn't remember it. But this is what my mom shared. I have a photo that's the cutest ever that I'm sitting on the ground, my brother is sitting on the ground, and I have my arm around him and I'm like, I got you, bro. And I feel like so cool because I'm like sister and he's my younger brother. And then my mom, she said, well, Lori, you know what really happened? What really happened is you won a color competition. You know, you color something in and I won the competition. But I was so uncomfortable that I didn't want to pick up the prize. So I was just sitting with my brothers, kind of like claiming him. It's like, you're not gonna leave me. I feel uncomfortable. Just don't stay with me. And then he helped me to pick up the prize, which was a big teddy bear that we actually still have because my mom was like, it's so nice to remember. So I could share that one story, and instead of saying I wasn't comfortable with people, I can show this photo and say, well, you might think this is very cute. But you know the reality? Blah, blah, blah. Can we agree that sometimes the people who come across most comfortable actually feel something completely different inside? And is it okay if I bring you on a roller coaster ride of what it could be for you to actually feel comfortable being seen in public and potentially even on a stage? Do you all see that I have my aim? Helping people being comfortable on stage. And I want to bring them, I want to connect them with the now, which is I feel uncomfortable. And instead of sharing that in my whole journey, I just share. If I would pull up my story library, I would pull up the story coloring competition. But to make the same aim happen, I can pick a different story if I want to. I can go back to my university, my high school moment, where, and this is another scene of my life, where I'm sitting in and this story I have shared before because maybe you even recognize, maybe I've put it in the course. It's like I sit at the back of the class, always in the right corner in the back, because that was where I felt I could view everybody and did not be seen. I always was wearing a hoodie, and in our English class, which was really, really hard for me, I was really good in knowing how many squares there were in the ceiling. And every single time there was a question, I was the one disappearing. Now, I have a more elegant way of sharing that story, but can we see that it's a completely different story with a similar aim? So I can just go by myself and think, okay, I have this aim of, and I will have my sentence drop something along the lines of, be unapologetically you as a speaker, right? Because the aim is a little vague and can be similar. But the way we approach it, the emotion we connect with, will be drastically different. Do we see that? So I can say, okay, in order for me to connect with my now, with the people in the now, I'm going to use the coloring story. Or like, you know what I'm in the mood for? I like the English story because this will be a different audience. And I often use the English story because some people, foreign people who are not native English, they will resonate with that story so much because they also don't feel their English is good enough to go international. So when I share with them, like I'm sharing this with you now, but I sucked in English, I was uncomfortable, I didn't want to be seen, and now I'm doing all of this. It will be way more inspiring. But do we see that I can swap this story with the coloring story anytime I want to? And this is the freedom you all have. So, Rob, let's just say you specifically now have the Fiji breakthrough story, and I just named them, or the Paris proposing story. And you could even use both in one keynote, and that's it. Those are the stories. I'm not telling you while I tell my coloring story that I was in the gym and I love sports and I'm doing this thing and I'm not talking about any of it because it doesn't matter. Because what I'm not here to tell is the perfect chronological story. I'm here to share a scene of my life to make a point of the transformation that I actually want here to create. Make sense? So, Rebecca, I saw some questions in your share. Would you mind explaining what you already have and where you could help have a little bit more clarity so you have a next level on your stories?
Um, I picked the stories. Your story library is amazing because you can just scan through and go, yep, that fits, that fits, that fits. So it was really easy. But all of the stories are, to me anyway, boring. And so I just want to find one that maybe isn't so, that might share a little bit more than just about work stuff, I guess, to
Okay.
your point.
So let's figure this out all together. Because what we're talking about today is the label we put on things and then the rules we have for that label. So, Rebecca, what I'm hearing you say is my stories are boring, which my hypothesis is it's not that fun to share, it's not that fun to practice, it kind of like drains a little bit the energy, and you're looking for less boring, more exciting stories. Is that true?
Yeah, I tend to like more of the fun, yeah, more fun, exciting, oh my goodness stories, and all the stories that go with a talk about changing directions and pivoting and that kind of stuff are all work related stories, which aren't as exciting to me, but I'm sure I can still say them with lots of energy and make them sound exciting. I guess I just thought of one that I could do, to make it more exciting,
So one
to show
question
about,
before. What makes a story for you boring? The rule I'm hearing is it's work stuff. Would you
yeah, I
enjoy
guess.
sharing some stories that are not work related, but still facilitate the journey, aka the aim that you want to create? Is that what you're looking for?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay, so every single one of you, I want you to hear this. What we're doing right now is we're putting the finger on the real problem. Because when we look at our whole entire process, what we're doing, step number one, we set a clear outcome, we set an aim. Now, during that aim, we're not diving into that now, but you find yourself different stages, different teaching points, different moments, right? And then we're figuring out what story facilitates that. And what Rob just shared, he had 20 stories that he downloaded. My story library, I don't know how many stories. I think there's like 200 plus. Who here is more than 3 stories that they came up with that they can share? Right? Everybody. Right? When you really sit for it, every single one of you can create 100 stories. It's just about recognizing what you're in it and not making this big deal out of this perfect story. Right? A story can be um literally today, I'm at my parents' place right now. I'm visiting my parents, and my mom did some grocery shopping. Or yesterday, someone rang the doorbell, and it was someone who wanted to sell my mom on something. And I was in the same house, but the person who rang the doorbell and had this conversation with my mom didn't see I was there, and also didn't know that I'm pretty good in what she was doing. So I was fascinated observing. And what I noticed, and this is, and I can literally go through this, right? Like I'm telling this story and making the point, is what I noticed is what she was selling was not something my mom was interested in. Now, who of you ever talks to someone that you feel you can help, but the other person is not yet interested, right? And my the person who rang the bell and was talking to my mother, she instead of forcing her to buy something, she actually recognized it. And the biggest mistake that I see a lot of entrepreneurs make, and I'm just making this as an example, is they want to sell this one thing, and when it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But what I think this sales lady was doing incredibly well is she found an opening for a new thing because she needed to pee. And she made it happen that she would actually use our bathroom so she didn't pee her pants while she was walking around the whole day. So this moment in time is a story. And it's literally happened yesterday. So it's not do you have the stories, it's more can you recognize the stories that you're going through? And can you now practice the skill of using a story and connecting it to a teaching point? Now, the story is saleswoman at parents' house. The teaching point, which I think I did not do very elegantly right now out of the cuff. But if I would connect something to that, it could be how can you sell a small yes? How can you influence someone to a small yes? Right? So now it becomes about recognizing the story and connecting it to the teaching point. So, Rebecca, what you're saying is, and this is, I translate your question back, is out of all the stories I downloaded in my story library, I'm noticing that a lot of these stories are work related. I notice that when I'm sharing it, I enjoy sharing stories that are less work related. So now we have some new rules of the game. It's like, okay, Rebecca, now our new primary question will be, how can you, Rebecca, achieve the aim that you want to achieve with stories that you enjoy sharing, while your credibility, community, and connection are all checked off?
That's a really good point because what I was doing is looking at stories that were examples of what I was talking about versus stories that point to the aim. So I can still stick something in that points to the aim that's not an example from my own life.
There you go. So
Okay.
now it gives freedom. Do we all see that? When we're stuck on, we created this narrative, we created a script, this is what we need to do because this is my story, it becomes very stagnant. But when we start to open up about, well, what are we really here to do? Are we here to do a great script, or are we here to create a transformation where people feel that they can trust us, where they have a new insight, and where they know there is a next level that we can join, and I want that. Right? So everybody, can we team up right now and brainstorm a little bit together with Rebecca? So not just Rebecca, but every single one of you is going to be have an insight. Now, without knowing Rebecca better than you do, what are areas of life that are not work related that someone else can still feel her credibility through? So let me say that question one more time and put that in the chat. Without knowing Rebecca better than you do now, some of you might not even know what she really does. Some of you might know her personally. What are sources of her life that she can potentially could tap into where other people, her audience, will feel her credibility as an expert through? Please put that in the chat. We've got family, we've got travel, we've got children, we've got childhood, books, movies, changing careers, her journey, family, travel, friendships. Now we'll use Mari as an example. Because Mari, you are from Peru, correct?
Mhm.
Where do you live right now?
US.
Okay.
Well, yeah, DC area.
So she's from Peru, but now she lives in the US. Now, what kind of person, what are character traits from a person who grew up in one country and now build a lively life in another country? What are character traits of such a person? Put it in the chat. What are character traits of such a person? And we don't know yet what, in this case, Mari does, or maybe what Rebecca does, but what are character traits? Bold, adventurous, strong.
Mhm.
Could it be possible, adaptive, perseverance, risk, adventure? Could it be possible that, Rebecca, your CPA credentials don't just come from your experience as a CPA? Could it be possible that stories of your life will actually enhance that feeling? Because not just are we understanding how good you are with your craft, we're also understanding who you are as a person. And we feel the credibility through a person. Now, there was a time, before I'm going to ask you, Rebecca, what pops into mind, what you actually can use. There was a time where I was at a conference and I was listening to Jesse Itzler. Who knows who Jesse Itzler is?
Oh,
Who doesn't know, I will actually share a link in our WhatsApp because once I did an analysis on his talk, and I think he's one of my favorite speakers. He's so charismatic, he's so real, he's so authentic, he's amazing. And there was a time where I'm going to see him live, and I was so excited. At the same time, that week, his dad passed away.
mm,
His dad passed away, and his dad was one of, like, it's kind of like what I sometimes say about my grandma. It's like when my grandma dies, like, I better prepare it because that will do something to my soul. Now that
yeah.
was for him and his dad died that week. Now, what do you think I thought when I heard that news, besides feeling sorry for him and what he's going through? It's like he's probably not going to speak. Like, that's ridiculous. It was not even in the same state where he needed to speak and where he's living. He's living in Georgia. The speech was, I don't even remember. Not close to his house. But you know what happened? He showed up and he acknowledged his dad while he was speaking. And he made that part of his talk. Now, do you think that increases or decreases his level of credibility as a human? Going through the roof. But did he share anything about his CPA experience? Right? Or business experience? Right? What if this, what we're all doing, is one big game where we know what our check marks are? Our check marks are one, have a clear idea on what your aim is. And that aim we can create in a paragraph, or it can be a sentence. It can be a knowing. It can be a direction because it's clear. Your blueprint is not the exercise to do and to know, oh, I wrote it down, I'm done. It's to embody what that aim means to you, to write down what people will feel, what they will hear, what they will see, and to boil it down to that one sentence, because that one sentence, Rob will know, will never forget. Everybody will know Rob's, because when Rob is going live next week, we're all gonna know, like, that has something to do with what, Rob?
Being unapologetically you.
Right. So we know what we're doing it for. Then on the journey, we know, okay, people need to feel something. In order for them to feel something, stories are going to help. Not just random stories, specific stories. Stories of a moment in time what they can see, feel, hear. So they're with us. This is how their brains are wired. So when we tell stories, they will feel this emotion. That's what we're doing. What we also need to do is that they have some specific knowledge. Because if we let them feel a lot of things, there will be people in the audience being like, okay, great. What a fluff. What am I learning over here? Right? So we want to make sure that they're learning something. That's why the teaching points come in. That's why we want to connect the stories to something specific and tangible so they're able to store that story in their mind and know these steps bring me to my aim. And the stories that you're going to pick don't matter. You can pick whatever story you want. Just make sure that number one, it doesn't need to be a chronological timeline of your life events because no one really cares about you and your timeline. What we do care about is our transformation. And in order for us to trust you, we know that 3 C's are going to help. Where people see community, Irina, mom of 3 amazing kids, working from home, living in Croatia. We want to hear that. We want to hear that. In all your keynotes, in all your stories. It says so much about who you are. Jay, going to African countries to help women to stand up for who they are. We want to hear that, man. We want to hear that. That's so cool. Right? The community, the trust. But we also want to hear the coolness. We want to hear the coolness. Blake is actually moving his, what was it?
Daughter.
Your daughter while doing the speaking engagement to college, correct?
No, she got out of college. She's relocating
Out of,
from Austin, Texas to Seattle, so it's 31 hours away.
right? And he's driving, helping her out. So could it be possible that it might be, I'm not saying it should or it will, but imagine it would be part of his speech. Because this whole process is adaptable. Would it increase or decrease our connection with Blake in that moment? Right? So it's not so much about, is the Wi-Fi going to be perfect in another place because now I have less control? But what if this becomes now a strength and an asset that you're able to use because you have a very straightforward framework that you know how you can use it and why you are using it. So now the community piece comes in. But in this case, Blake, this will be something that people will not forget. This is a coolness piece, right? Carolyn, I will stop saying your age, but if I would say something around 78. But she still loves skiing. Isn't that cool? Right? Isn't that specific? Nilsa, she's amazing with finances, but in one part of her life, she was a mom of how many dogs at once, Nilsa?
15.
15 dogs, right? Doesn't that create some emotion? You saw it in the faces, right? So now
9 golden retrievers and 6 toy poodles. Love it.
because they were so cute together and it was just awful to get them separate. So she just took care of all of them while in a financial crash, while taking care of 2 daughters as well. It's like, doesn't it share something about compassion and resilience and care? Right? Do we see that all these little nuances make it's not little nuances, it's what this is all about. Imagine Nilsa would not have shared this puppy thing, but now you do. Like, what characteristics come up with you? Put it in the chat. Someone taking care of 15 dogs. Like, can you even imagine? So Nilsa can share about finances all the way, and she can share about her Stanford and her Harvard and Goldman Sachs. But then at some point we will be like, well, this woman is really out of our league. She seems a little cocky. And now we want that emotional piece again. And we're like, oh my God, we feel so safe with this awesomeness, with this love and kind and crazy person. She's like me. She's adventurous. But then when she only shares about the puppies and she's like, I'm gonna help you with your finances, we're like, oh my God, I feel you're so amazing and I don't trust you because my finances are not puppies, right? I need some data over here. Please help me know that I can trust you. And then she's like, well, I'm pretty good at what I do and I got a lot of proof. Do we see that it's about all of them? And that when one credibility source, at some point, Rebecca, kind of becomes annoying to you, that you have the complete freedom to change it. Because it's not about your timeline. It's not about your biggest breakthrough in the moment. It's about what specific stories are going to facilitate the teaching points that are building up to this one aim, what it's all about. So when you shift and swap some stories, it's congratulations, you found a new level of freedom. I was excited for what's next for you just by knowing this, right? Just by being in this dope community. So what I would love to do is I want to listen to Jay and answer his question. And then with your permission, would it be okay if I'm going to visually show you what's going to happen next week? So you all have clarity on what you're going to do and how you're going to get most out of that. Would that be cool? Perfect. Jay, bring it on.
Okay, so what happens when we fall in love and get married to one of our stories?
Mmm.
And we want, we just love that story so much, and it epitomizes a lot of the three C's and everything, but we have a hard time, letting go of that story and putting in another one.
Beautiful story. Who's excited to hear the answer for this one? And part of you feels like, ooh, thank you for speaking that out, because I have that too. What I would say is we have three lenses in this process. How can we make this as fun? How can we make this as impactful? And how can we make this as easy as possible? And if there's a story, Jay, that you're so in love with, then who am I to say to break up and to start dating again? It's like, if you are in love in this story, then why not? Why not just marry this story forever and use it? And now we have a new primary question. How can we make sure that while we are telling this story that we're so in love with, in a way where our aim is achieved and credibility, community, and coolness is part of? So instead of thinking, it's not this right now, so I need to change, it's like, how can we adapt that love story in a way so that what our outcome is also being achieved? Because what I would say, Jay, and I'm pretty sure about your answer, is if you need to choose between your love story, but that love story is not going to facilitate a transformation for your audience, versus one that does facilitate a transformation, which one would you choose?
Oh, the one that transforms, without a
Okay.
doubt.
So now the opportunity comes with, what if it can be both? What if the transformation is always first?
Always.
And we don't need to sacrifice our values, our favorite story, the joy, Rebecca, that we have with telling them. Don't sacrifice saying, oh, these boring stories are probably going to be better, so now I'm just going to suffer through. No! You're going to find stories that light you up. You know what stories I love to speak about most? Stories that, one, I like to listen to when I talk to myself. And second, stories about my vision. I really often use future pacing in my stories. So I'm literally speaking out loud what my dreams are in front of a large audience. Now I enjoy my process. I enjoy telling this what happened yesterday because I'm now sharing that with my parents, and I value that because I enjoy this. When you don't enjoy this, you're not going to succeed as an amazing speaker. You got to enjoy this process. So fall in love with your stories. Marry them. And then when you're in a relationship, can we agree that when you're in a relationship, you're always developing no matter what? So while you're in love with this one person, with this one story, can it be possible that when you really commit to this one story, Jay, that every single time you're going to speak it will be better? And that you're going to notice like, oh, my credibility in this piece, it's a little low because I apparently feel uncomfortable because I have this claim of I will be bragging. So now you're going to add a little bit more credibility. Or you add so much credibility because it's hard for you to share about personal stuff. So now it's like, okay, we want to move a little bit this direction. Right? And everybody's on their own path. And for everybody, something else is uncomfortable. So that's why this is so fun to see this for each other, because your questions is someone else's question. Make sense? Beautiful. So let me show you what's going to happen next week. And I want to start with everybody that's going to speak. So when you're speaking this time, this is for you. When you're speaking in 5 weeks from now, you can already see how this is going to go. So you can already start to visualize that for yourself. Make sense? What's going to happen is next week during our workshop, we are going to go live in front of real people. Now, This will be in a real official streaming platform that for some of you might be a streaming platform you've been working with before, and for some of you, this might be completely new. So the opportunity that we have is 30 minutes before the time that we start, that we also started today. I'm not going to say specific time because it's different with time zones, but 30 minutes before our normal class, our streaming platform is open and we'll be in the back end of it. So if you want to test it 30 minutes before, make sure that your setup is right, I would highly recommend it. I don't want to make it mandatory, but it's mandatory with a wink. So just be there 30 minutes before. All right? Now, when you are ready to enter, you will have one link. This one link will be emailed to you separately, and it's also in your calendar invitations, and it already exists. You can also already click on it and actually go through it yourself already, because without us being in the backend, it's already open. It's just not live. So you can already test it for yourself if you want to do that before next Tuesday. Now, when you click on that link, this is what you will see. You will see a screen that says, set up your mic and camera. Now, that's what you're going to do. You're writing your name in there, and then you enter the studio. Now, when you enter the studio, this is what you will see. This is what you want to make sure of is absolutely working for you before we're going live. Now, what's going to happen for the watchers, so the people who are not going to speak live next week, but will watch, is they will click on the YouTube link. The YouTube link where we will directly stream from. And look what they're able to see right now. Look how cool this is, you guys. You're all in the thumbnail. And what's going to happen is when we go live, exactly when our class starts, you're able to click on play and you're able to see what everybody else is seeing. Now, the cool part is that as a watcher, you're able here to put comments in the chat. Now, these comments will be visible for the people who are speaking. And it's really fun to have engagement and also later on to see the comments that people put when you spoke. All right? Now, for everybody in this group, when you want to share this experience with someone else, whether you're speaking or not. So if you're speaking, you can invite your family, maybe potential clients, anyone you think this will be super inspiring for. Maybe even people will be inspired on their speaking journey. Or you're not speaking, but you still want to invite people because you're just so excited, then you can. Because this event is not just for this community. It's not just for the speaking community that you meet on Mondays, but it's open for people you invite. So what you can do, and as speakers you already got information about that, but you just want to repeat it, is you have one link. And when you share this one link, people can secure their own spots and see, oh, Rebecca's speaking. Oh, Rob, Carolyn, Jay, Mari. Oh, Blake, this is pretty cool. I want to watch them. So they're able to secure their own spot, get their information in, so they get the right information, what they need to come watch. So that when you're going live, you don't have people texting you, I cannot find a link, and you're like, I don't want to talk to you because I'm up. So now everybody is going, and that's why we support them and we make sure that they have the right information with the right links, with the right information to ask questions. Now, until here, everything clear? Yeah? Now, to extra support you on this moment, because I can imagine that everybody's going through this in different ways. I had a moment where we were in the back scene of the tech check, and then someone says, I puked this morning. I was so nervous. and people came up a day before with all kind of reasons why they're not ready. And I just want to let you know that when you're going to feel these feelings or get these thoughts that even are going to convince you not to do it and going to talk you out because whatever crazy reasons that I've ever heard, like, yeah, crazy reasons, just know that that is part of the process, that you are good enough, you are prepared. I would not let you on my stage if I didn't think you were going to succeed. So we're all here with you to help you succeed. And if you need anything in the process, then do you know the place to ask your questions? Do you know that the WhatsApp group is always there for you? And when you ask a question, you will get an answer. And sometimes it's not even from me or Luke, it's from one of your peers because you're all going through this process. So, who's willing to commit in the next 7 days to ask your questions when you have? Because that's the control that you have. Don't shiver in your own doubt. Reach out. And that rhymes. Thank you. So, the last thing that I want to share with you that I think is really, really cool is a place in your portal, in your Academy portal. I'm going to share my screen in a sec, where extra resources are there for you in case you want it. Now, this is extra. So if you feel I used StreamYard before, I'm going to dial in, I'm going to practice my talk, I'm all good, you're good. But if you feel like you really value some extra guidance and some extra resources and you would love to go through them, then I'm going to share which ones are available when the system also opens them. And what it is basically, before I'm going to share my screen, what it is basically one, a tech check of 30 minutes before that you can already watch that we recorded. So that way you're able to see what you can expect. And if you feel like you're a little challenged on the tech side, that you can already check those boxes off before 30 minutes before. So you don't have to stress about that. Let me see if yeah, perfect. Almost perfect. Oh my God. It's so slow. Okay, here we are. Perfect. Okay. So when you click on your membership portal, on the orange background that says Academy, then this will be there for you, right? This is what I just shared, the tech check, so you're able to watch that. There's a replay of a full entire live speaking event. So you're able to watch that fully, see how we do the introductions, see how you're going to be announced, which by the way is what you already submitted in your blueprint because there's a bio section there. And then as on all the little questions that you might have. So before you're going into overthinking mode, just look at the resources that you already have, read through all of them. And if then you have another question, then please ask. Because if you have it, other people have it. And then we make sure that for the next group, there's all the resources that you need to have full clarity on the beginning. Make sense? Cool? Are we excited, you all? Like next week will be the live of Rob, Mari, Rebecca, Blake, Carolyn, Jay, Nilsson, not yet. Nilsson will be the next one, right? All of you, you're going to share live what you created. And you know you don't need to be perfect. So you're going to enjoy this process. And during this whole week, you're able to ask all the questions that come up, but also really take the time to think through what people do I want to invite on this journey. Because I'm going to tell you, it's really, really fun. Like people like share really personal stories and then invite their kids, and it's healing for the whole family. It's like what you're able to create from this live is what you want to create. If you just want to do it for the group, that's perfect. If you want to invite potential clients, we had people selling stuff during the live. Not even for their own, from their own in the people they invited by themselves, but other people that invite other people that wanted to buy certain things of other people's product. So just know that the opportunities are endless, but that the most important thing is that you are ready. And all of us are here to make you shine. So with that said, Sandra, do you have a very important question before we wrap up this call?
Yes, very important. How soon
Very
can we get the link? Because I don't know how to share it, but I'm going to share it with all my platforms with my VA. So how quick can that happen?
How quick can this happen? This sounds like a competition. I'm very competitive, Sandra. We'll get it to you today in the WhatsApp group right after this call.
Okay, and we can be there 30 minutes before.
So you are speaking not next week, so you don't need to
No.
be there 30 minutes
Oh, I
before.
wanted to, oh, I thought okay, I can be there to support them though.
Exactly. So
Oh,
you will be watching, and this is where it really gets exciting. Irina, Nilsa, and Sandra, you're going to speak in 4 weeks from now, or 5 weeks from now, 4 weeks from next week. So you're able to put your document, or like you know your time, you because it's in September. You have your document that we just filled in, and you can put that behind next to what you're listening to, and you can fill in your document based on what you're hearing and all the ideas and your thoughts that you start to get because of the inspiration listening to other people, right? So this is a beautiful place to really get inspired and get a lot of ideas written down for yourself. Cool? Full clarity? All right, last thing, the lineup will be revealed to you later. So if that's one of your questions, you don't need to think about it. All right? All right, y'all. I'm proud of you. Keep crushing and know that the Monday is available to all of you. And what I've noticed is when you're almost peaking, you're probably going to show up on Monday as well, because that's going to be an extra power boost. All right. Ciao for now.